Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my heart, and it's about the way that breaking our silence can really liberate us and how owning your story changes everything. Because when you don't own your story, it owns you. So, let's dive in. When you go beyond the surface and into the depths of who you truly are, you will rise. So I was the girl who dreamed dreamed about her wedding day, and it still feels like it was just yesterday, even though we're coming up on a year. And while there was so much joy around that special day, there is something that I regret, and it's not having the father-daughter moment. As a child of divorce, not growing up having a close relationship with my dad, having him at my wedding was such a big deal for me. It was something that I was looking forward to, and especially having that father daughter dance. But unfortunately, it never happened. And honestly, I was kind of already in my feels about the whole thing because searching through so many songs and nothing really fitting, nothing really like speaking to me or really, I don't know, just exemplifying our journey and our story was really hard. But then there was this one song that I had come across, and it probably wasn't like your traditional father daughter dance kind of song, but it really spoke to me, and it felt like it really spoke to our journey, and I guess the way that I look at our journey. And I would sing it over and over again while I'm driving, while I was in the kitchen, and I would actually start to picture myself like dancing with my dad. But so about a month before the wedding, I had sent my dad a list of songs that I had found, and just allowing him to like choose the one that he felt aligned with, but there was no follow through on his part. And so I sent one message just expressing my disappointment and flat out said there wasn't going to be a dance at all, and I just left it at that. We didn't really speak much leading up to the wedding, more so on my part because I shut down and I was just in protection mode. It's hard to put into words what it feels like to want something so simple from a parent, especially one that you haven't really asked for much from before, and to be met with disappointment, almost feeling disappointment time and time again. So, 6 months go by after the wedding. Again, not really speaking, but we finally had that conversation about the wedding, what had gone on. And of course, it wasn't an easy conversation. It never is, especially these hard conversations. But something really cracked open in me very much. I can't speak for my dad, but it was such an important conversation. I mean, ultimately, what I realized is this: silence builds walls. Every time that we don't say the thing, we're just adding another brick to the wall. And the only way that the wall ever comes down is when we decide to speak up, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult. That conversation didn't necessarily just magically fix my relationship with my dad, but it freed me in many ways. It was me saying, hey, this is my truth, and this is how this really impacted me and affected me. And the things with me and my dad, this is like not our first rodeo with these hard conversations, and I feel lighter every single time. I feel more myself, I feel more free. And so when I think about the regret that I feel is because of how long I waited, how long I waited to break my silence. And if I just allowed myself and I pushed myself to speak up sooner, to have the conversation, we would have been able to still also have that moment as well. And that's something that I take responsibility for and I take ownership for. And I own in my part in all of this as well. The bigger truth that I learned in this experience is that breaking our silence is that first step. But owning your story is where the real power is. Because again, when you don't own your story, it owns you. It shows up as shame, blame, and silence. But when you take the brave step of of naming it, saying, this is my experience, this is what it meant, this is what I choose to do with it, that's when you take your power. For me, owning my story with my dad means I don't walk around defined by the girl whose father didn't show up for her, who let her down. I'm the woman that spoke up. I chose honesty. I'm the one who chose to be free and liberated by speaking up. And I'm also the one who chooses forgiveness and love over and over and over again. And that's everything. Every time we break our silence, we're not just freeing ourselves, we are showing others what's possible. And that was also something that also came from my conversation with my dad, is feeling like I'm like slowly peeling back these layers, very slowly, but nonetheless still peeling back these layers, seeing him more. And that's also everything. And that's the thing, is when we do this for ourselves, and then we end up doing this for other people. And, we give others that doorway so that they can also walk through that portal of being able to own their story, to be liberated, to express themselves. And that's exactly what happens inside Collective Voices. And if this is the first time you're hearing about Collective Voices, it is not just another anthology book. It's really a space for women to break their silence, to own their story, and put into words in a way that frees them and ripples out to help others on their journey as well. Over the 12 weeks of the journey, we come together to write the stories, and then after, the book goes into production. And that's the thing that I absolutely love about Collective Voices itself, is that the title, the cover, everything is shaped by the people that are in the group. By every writer, every storyteller, every woman who decides to share their story, that is where the title is birthed from. It's very intuitive. And some of the stories that have been shared, and this is what I mean about liberation and owning our story. We've had a mother who finally had shared her miscarriages, teacher opening up about her anxiety, a cancer survivor telling her story for the first time. Each of them breaking their silence in ways, owning their stories, reclaiming parts of themselves. And in doing so, it's not just about freeing themselves, but it really does give permission for other people to do the exact same thing. And so maybe there's a story that you've been carrying, one that's been asking to be told, nudging at you. And if so, this is your invitation to put it in words, put it in writing, go through such a beautiful, transformative experience, to be supported in community as you write your chapter, as you write a piece of your story. Because I'm a big believer that we have many stories inside of us. This is really like your doorway, and you get to make that choice to open the door, to walk through it, and to be able to create something with so much purpose and intention and meaning, to be a part of this. And if you're feeling that nudge, you can visit the link that's in the show notes, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and we can chat more about it. And as always, if this episode resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, share it with a friend, hit follow, subscribe. This way you can stay connected and never miss an episode as we keep going beyond the surface together. So until next time, keep writing your way home.